Hello, YouTube, and welcome to another Freestyle Movie Reviews. I'm Scott,
And I'm Clint.
and today we're reviewing The Raid 2. It's not over yet. The tagline to Raid 2, starring Iko Uwasis, reprising his role as Rama from Raid 1, is also starring the crime boss's son, Yukoke Afrin Putra, and one of my favorites, the crime boss's right-hand man, Ika, is being played by Oka Antara, and everyone's personal favorite, I'm pretty sure, Hammer Girl, played by Julie Estelise. This movie was written, directed, and edited by Gareth Evans. This is the fourth movie he's done this for.
Alright, and the story of Raid 2 picks up shortly after the events of Raid 1 with Rama as he goes undercover to avenge his brother's killer, protect his family, and bring down corruption in the police department. And in the process, he befriends a crime boss's son as he tries to seize control of his father's organization. In the process, kills anyone even associated with it.
And this is the part of the review where we go over things that we didn't quite like as much in the movie.
The plot was pretty convoluted and stuff. Like, a lot of time I kind of didn't know who was killing who for what reason.
There was just so many guys on screen wearing various outfits.
There was like a tattoo thing that I kind of got.
I thought it was the Japanese guy's team, and that's why he was like, "Oh, that guy's really working for the Japanese guy."
Yeah. What's his face with the cane?
Well, I mean, was he really working for the Japanese guy? But then he thought he was a cop.
I'm pretty sure.
It's hard to follow.
Yeah.
It's hard to follow. I mean, maybe you got better than we did, but. And then
maybe there was like a language barrier. I know those subtitles were going
pretty fast. Yeah, they were pretty fast. Some of the longer ones.
I felt like I missed like a lot of important details. But.
Yeah, the only other thing I would maybe say is it felt like it ran a little long for me. It was like 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it was mostly because of the storyline stuff. It seemed like they were trying to just jam as much as they could in there, in between the fight scenes, so it didn't feel like it was just fight scene after fight scene. But that's all I really wanted to see, honestly. And this is the part of the review that we talk about the things that we liked a lot about the movie. And one thing that I really liked was they had a very original assortment of assassins. It wasn't just generic guys that are really good with swords, or it's like, oh, that's the ninja star chick. They had
really home appliance like weapons and stuff that you could easily get.
They had this baseball guy who walks around with a bat and a baseball, killing people. Like, he aims this thing, like, that's how you aim a baseball, and you're like, yep, ball's gonna go right there, and just kills people with it. And then there's the hammer girl who runs around with hammers. And there's this really badass chef who's just ridiculous at fucking hand-to-hand fighting, and the homeless ninja who kills people with a machete, apparently.
That was probably my favorite fight, I think.
The chef.
Between the chef.
Yeah, that was a really. I'm sure if you watch the trailer, you've seen them like inching closer and closer. Yeah, that fight, the whole fight is amazing. Yeah. What would you say?
And I mean, it just had like really crazy camera work and stuff like that. Like I just can't even think of like how they did some of the stuff. You know, where like the camera will be like panning from cars in like a high-speed car chase, but then go into the car to look right, but one of the actors like driving the car's face.
Yeah, or it'll show like the top when it showed the top-down view, and he was like kicking dudes in the back seat and like beating the fuck out of the guys in the front seat.
Yeah, like somehow he found a way to flip a guy over his shoulder in a car. Like I mean, there's just like stuff in this movie that I don't think I've ever seen.
It's very original cinematography, very original choreography for the fights.
Yeah, everything either looks really beautiful or brutally violent.
This is the part of the review where we like to talk about our favorite separate moments. For me personally, there is an amazing car chase scene in this movie. It's just it's after Ike and Rama escape, and Rama's fighting dudes inside this car. It's a 4-passenger car, and he's fighting the 4, and Ike's just destroying guys. There's this part where he grabs this guy who's on a motorcycle and just unloads like a whole clip of an Uzi directly into the helmet. There's this part where he's driving backwards, and then the other guy is pushed against him, and they're reversing, and EK like pulls this maneuver right here, and the guy keeps going forward into like a median, and Duke comes like flying out of the car, and he's
Bloody as hell.
it's just ridiculous. It's one of the best. It's one of the best car chase scenes I've ever seen. And what would you say your favorite moment was?
My one, I think I already said it before, was the chef fight scene. I mean, it's probably like I think one of the longer one-on-one fight scenes that they have in the movie, and it just like it escalates to this knife fight, and it just gets just like the rest of the movie, just gets more brutal and brutal, and it just was perfect.
Yeah, I would say going in, they definitely knew this is the biggest fight. This is going to be the best. This is going to be the fight people talk about. This is going to be the fight.
I mean, like at the end of it, there's just like blood everywhere on the floor. The guy,
he dragged a knife across the guy here, across here. There's a part where he stabs the guy in the wrist and just runs it all the way up his arm. I mean, he just like filleted this guy. It was brutal as hell.
But he was still like a super badass and whatnot.
Yeah, he was very composed. Like the guy fought all the way up to the point where he was like, "You've cut so much of my body that I cannot move anymore. I'm still alive, and I would keep fighting, but I cannot physically move anymore."
Yeah, and then like, moment where all like the people in the kitchen leave and shit.
Oh yeah.
And then like, always like, all right, let's defeat now. Shit.
Yeah, you saw it in the trailer where they're inching closer and closer together. That's that fight. It's amazing. That brings us to the power review, where we like to give it our final score. Around here, we like to rate it in a 1 through 5 system. Clint, what would you rate this movie?
I got a 4, good but not perfect. I would say the first Raid movie is pretty much a perfect action movie. I mean, just like action throughout. This one, it kind of derails to the plot, but still very good. It's close to being a 5 for me. But I think it's like probably the best thing you see out in theaters right now.
All right, I'll give it a 3, which means it's watchable. It's not that I didn't like the movie; it's just I had the same thing with the plot being weird and convoluted, and I felt like it was a little too long. Like they could have maybe took a half hour out, and it wouldn't have hurt it at all. But other than that, if you like kung fu movies, if you enjoyed Raid 1, if you like action movies in general, this would be a really good movie for you to check out. And that brings us to the end of our review. Where, you don't have to listen to us jackasses. I mean, you can go check it out yourself, see what you think. Comment back and tell us what you think, if we're completely stupid and wrong, or if you enjoyed it yourself. And other than that, I think we're done here. I'm Scott for Freestyle Movie Reviews.
And I'm Clint.
And have a good day.